misty, and I don't know, maybe it'll be windy down there.
Sunny.
Well, we talked with Coach Smith about this yesterday, but just preparing for a defense now with the change that they made.
Yes, we saw that a couple days ago, and I think really all you can do is the personnel hasn't changed. You're preparing for the same personnel, and I think each week you got to be ready for defenses to throw some wrinkles at you, and I'm sure the new coordinator will have a few wrinkles that he wants to throw in, but all you can really do is teach off the tape and operate our stuff and be ready to adjust a little bit on Saturday if we need to.
Yeah.
Well, how'd the bye week treat you?
Good. We got out to, we were able to get some rest, get some players, I think, hopefully healthy, and get a lot of the young guys some work. And then the coaches, we got to get out on the road and do some recruiting and have a little bit of time, spend a little bit with the family too. So it was good. I think we're everybody in the program, I think, is recharged and ready to make a run down these last 5 games.
You get to 4-4, 500, huge game on the road against a very talented quarterback in Khalil Tate. Talk about your offense and your thoughts about this week and what it means.
I think it's every week in the Pac-12 is a battle, and it's always a challenge going on the road. And I think as an offense we got to be ready to score a lot of points. I know they got a really really talented offense. Khalil Tate's been doing a lot of great things in this league for a number of years. I know the last time I was at Colorado, he had a heck of a day and got us. So I think it's going to be a big challenge for our offense on the road, and we've got to go execute at a high level for 4 quarters.
You had this bye week, and then you've got a kind of a stretch drive here with 5 games in November. When you were looking at things you wanted to clean up, what would you say were maybe the top couple things you really want to get cleaned up here before you start this November stretch?
Well, I think we had some protection issues and took some negative plays in the Cal game, and that was frustrating. So I think there were some things that we looked up, protection-wise. And again, I always say that I think that's on all 11 of us. I'm not just putting that on the offensive line, but just eliminating those negative plays. And then the last piece would be penalties. I feel like a number of our drives that we've gotten stopped, it's been because of ourselves, and a lot of it pre-snap penalty, whether it would be a false start or a lining wrong. But those things that put you 1st and 15 or 2nd and 15 or something like that, and in this level in the Pac-12, it's tough to recover from that. So those are the 2 things I think we were really hammering with the guys.
Does it feel good to know that those are like very fixable mistakes that are easy to?
Yeah, no, I think those are fixable things, and our guys realize it. I think it's really easy to show them on the film. Hey, these are the mistakes, and this is where this drive went, and this was the main reason why. And I think those guys see it and realize that we got to get it fixed.
How do you fix that? Is it words or punishment?
There's some reinforcement stuff after reminders after practice a little bit, and we do have a little bit of punishment for the offensive unit if we have any pre-snap penalties during practice that we've been doing, and just to reinforce the importance of it.
But you have guys that'll step up in the huddle and say, let's get this going, come on.
Yeah, and I think it's just we've been harping. I think it's you're getting to this point in the season, and you've been practicing out here for a long time, and I think it's real easy as the practices get a little bit shorter at the end of the year to kind of lose focus and lose the attention to detail. And we've been really on our guys to, and our team to keep improving, each week and keep getting better and try to be playing our best ball as we get towards the end of the season.
Again, with the five games left, has there been much thought about giving Tristan any sort of meaningful series just to get him some reps in a game, or is this Jake full throttle to the end as long as he's playing well?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to get them both in there. I think it's just, we named Jake the guy, and I feel like he's been doing a lot of the good things, and I think it's really important for that guy to just get into the rhythm of the game and be able to have that confidence. But I think as the coaching staff, we would love an opportunity to get Tristan in there, and we've got enormous amount of confidence in him and in the future.
There's a chance you could have Jamar back this week, possibly. But what's it like to have 3 running backs like the trio you have? It just seems interchangeable parts.
It's great. I mean, we really like it. I mean, I think it's just the big thing for us is there's always a fresh one in there, and Jamar, whether those guys have been banged up, we've got a guy that we feel really good about, and we don't miss a beat. And so, those guys are 3 really talented players. I think they've all shown it, and we feel confident with all 3 of them out there.
Colby is one of the few guys going back, I guess, sort of back home this week. There wasn't a lot of talk about him in August. He sort of emerged as maybe your number 2 even. I don't know how. Maybe just talk about the progress he's made during the season.
Yeah, I think the first thing I think Colby is I think he's gotten faster, and that was a concern last year. I think he had a really good offseason and spent some time. He's getting down the field quicker, and he's separating. And I think he's made a lot of plays on 3rd and 4th down for us. And I think the quarterbacks are gaining confidence in him and know he's a reliable target that we can find in those key situations. But yeah, I've been really pleased with his progress, and hopefully it continues.
What are you going to face against Arizona's defense? Just the base, what they like to do.
Well, they do quite a bit of different things, and they've shown a fair amount of some man covers. They've shown some drop 8 and some zone coverages, and so there's a lot of things that we're having to potentially prepare for. Then you throw in the wrinkle of new coordinator, and so I think we've got to really focus on us and our concepts and go out and execute our offense, and then be able to adjust a little bit depending on what they're going to give us on game day, because they do throw a lot of they do throw some looks at you. I think one thing that stands out to me is I think their backers, their 2 inside backers, number 1, number 7, are really good players, make a ton of plays for them in the box. And so those guys, we're going to have to be aware of them, and our line's going to have to get up and get on those guys, see if we can't cover those guys up.
Thank you, Coach.
Oh wait, just one more. Gotta ask this one because California a month ago passed that law for athletes to promote their likeness and image. But an hour ago, the NCAA started the conversation unanimously to have all schools, not just California, do that. What are your thoughts on that, if you have any?
I'd like to stay away from that one.
Okay.
For now, I'll let Coach Smith give our deal on it, and. I just need to read up, I guess, a little bit more on it before I make comment on it.
Sounds good.
Yeah, sorry.
Thanks.
I didn't get anything when I was at Idaho. So